Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Up and Over podcast, the podcast where a group of marks discuss pro wrestling and everything's a work and their opinions don't even matter. I am your host, El Gordo Gringo, alongside my co-host, Big Money Mike. We have the return of our local jeans enthusiast, Mr. Ethan Lewis.
Yes, yes.
Got Mr. Patty Mills.
Yes.
And move over, Big Daddy V. We've got our new papa, Big Daddy Cortland.
Yo,
Yeah.
You gotta make
That's
like a cheering
good
kind of right now.
Thank you.
Move over, Big Daddy V.
He said that shit. He really did.
That's good shit.
I wanted to use Big Papa Pump, but I was like, Big Daddy V almost works a little better. Big Daddy C is what we've got over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
crazy, dude. All you gotta do is leave it in.
Whoa.
All the thing Cortland pulls out of his driveways.
Oh my God.
My mouth is not going to be able to close this whole show. This shit's
Oh.
Nope.
It's gonna be easy tonight.
We are back from our little vacation away from the Reign of Terror tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, thank
So glad.
fucking
We
God
should-
we're back in the
look,
2000s.
not only having shit with ass, bro.
oh man.
It was such good shit.
I'm
Ethan,
glad I
Ethan,
missed out on that one.
I know you were gone last week, Ethan, but let me tell you what you missed.
Horse
Fucking
shit.
nothing. You didn't miss a fucking thing, really. You missed the coolest spot of the night was Muda blowing out an accidental fire. That was the coolest spot of the whole night.
If you've never seen it, the Thunderdome was supposed to be like a cage, basically, that was electrified, and it caught on fire because they decided to put like tarps and shit on the outside of an actual electrified fence, and that was the
What happened?
highlight of the whole evening.
They turned off the electric current essentially, so it was just a steel cage
Right.
match.
Really?
It was
Two-
good shit.
2 seconds after it touched the ground, it caught fire.
You know what? I love that. That's how it should have been, goddammit.
All right. So tonight we are going to be covering 2003's No Way Out, presented by Raw and SmackDown.
Don't forget Evanescence.
Wake me
Yeah,
up
we're not even
inside.
close. We're not even close.
Before that, tonight being the
Or
4th of November,
4th. Yeah.
we just had a huge group of fucking wrestlers get fired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, really. Happy holidays, you pieces
Wow.
of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun not wrestling anytime before Christmas.
I have a question.
You really will have moments to enjoy with your family because
What's
you will be wrestling for 90 days. Eat shit.
Pat, what's your question?
Where do I think Keith Lee gonna go, bro?
Bro, all right. So let's
R.I.P.
announce these people,
Bearcat.
right? Fucking Bearcat.
Pour one
Keith
out
Lee.
for Bearcat.
Let's not
Yeah,
even,
brother.
go ahead and cut that shit now. Let's not even reference that shit.
Nope.
Come on. Keith Lee, bro.
All right.
There's no excuse.
Mike's got the list here of all the poor unfortunate souls that just got fired.
All right. So you had Frankie Monet,
Poor thing.
Ember Moon, Scarlett Bordeaux, Oni Lorcan, Karrion Cross, B-Fab. Yeah, fucking Biff.
Your mic.
B-Fab.
Damn, I'm gonna have to put on a pair of jeans to saddle up for this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesse Kamea, Zayda
Who?
Ramier. Yeah, fuck. Trey Baxter. I Googled Trey Baxter to see what that poor son of a bitch looks like.
But
There was a
come
couple
on now,
people.
you know who that is. You GCW boy and you don't know who that is?
Katrina Cortez,
Man, fuck
G-
you, bud.
Jeet Rama,
That's right. Keep it rolling.
Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Maya Yim, Harry Smith, which
Mia.
was that was my favorite release. Because he was there for I don't know 2 months, and then Eva Marie. Everybody
Ooh.
got hit with a
Round of applause for
nice-
them firing Eva Marie.
a
Wait, is
nice
it 90
release.
days?
So it's
some of them.
It's weird.
90 days.
So all of the NXT people still had their 30-day non-compete. But then, like, I'm assuming for sure Keith did. He's going to have probably a 90 because he's been up there for a minute.
Yeah.
I think the only person that's, like, in question is Cross. Because I don't feel like he was up there long enough, but I think he also came up around roughly the same time that Black got released. So, like, I don't know if they fixed that mistake.
They would have had to have, right? Like,
You would think.
Absolutely would have had to have gone back and, like, retroactively fitted everybody to make sure.
Yeah, but I know for sure the only one that's going to be, like probably the only two are going to be Mia and Lee, because they both were up there together. And that is two couples that got released at the same time. And I think it was I think
who's the better couple?
Cross.
Oh,
really?
whoa.
Go ahead and expand on that.
Oh man!
I like how he said it and then kind of calmed down a little bit because he knew
this is gonna be here. I had to burp. No, I have nothing against Lee. I love Keith Lee. I love Bearcat. I hope he keeps that name.
Keith Lee.
You know, he should be like Man Bear Pig or something back on the indies, you know, kind of keep the bear aspect. But
What you got there?
I love Cross's work. So
honestly, out of all of the releases, I am most excited for Oni Lorcan. I feel like that dude that guy is just awesome, man. I could watch him go on and on and on with anybody, and it's flawless. Him and Danny Burch both. I can't wait to see what happens for both of them in the near future because it's going to be great.
The thing is, Biff, Oni, whatever you want to call him, but when he got signed, he was just starting to peak on the indies. Like, he didn't even get a hot run. He just got hot, and then WWE got him up. Like, he'd only started, like, because at the time PWG was like where anybody who was anybody started working. He only worked a couple PWG shows. Like, he didn't even get time to really, because he was in CZW and all that, him and Drew Gulak and all, but he never got to have that run as the guy. But now I feel like he's about to fucking be everywhere.
He's gonna fucking explode. And
super exciting. The opportunities that we have with him, Buddy Murphy, the potential of him going in through any of these forbidden doors. I think it's going to be fucking awesome, man. And now is the best time to be a pro wrestling fan. 110%.
Did you guys see Kenny Omega's tweet about it?
Yep.
I did not.
Read the tweet, sir. Read the tweet.
Give me 1 minute.
Read it out for us, sir.
He goes, old rivals, old friends, some I've never encountered. I don't mind padding my record if they don't mind being a statistic. See if I care.
Ooh.
That's good shit.
That's good. That's shit
I
right
like
there.
that. Let's go.
That
Go
is
get King in the house.
Okay, get it.
We also, in just the spirit of everyone being released, we also are still on the heels of finding out that we're very close to having Kyle O'Reilly being a free agent again.
Thank the Lord.
And then the speculation of what we said about three months until Mr. Kevin Owens. If I'm not mistaken.
Blow the hell up,
Gasoline
boys.
on that fire.
There's a lot of meat on that bone that we'll get to.
We should
Doesn't
print
matter
free
if
Kyle
I'm here
O'Reilly.
for 3 months or 3 years.
Free
At
Kyle
WWE
O'Reilly.
Universe is going to get the best of me. And then, what the fuck did Big E? I think responded to him and said, "This isn't Mount Rushmore," which is tough.
Oh, he did say that?
He did say that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Big E is like
They like to play. They're playing around with that shit.
top-notch shit. Yeah, but there's always been that crossover with the New Day specifically. Like they've always had like that. They've mentioned the Elite on WWE television. Like
They reference they allowed the reference of the sex tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
like it's like those three
Dude,
guys.
you're not going to
so
fire the New Day.
They're the shit, man.
What do you
You
do?
can't
Right?
do it.
the motherfuckers make money despite themselves. Like they're just gonna keep making money. You can't do anything.
Pancakes into the crowd over. Like they're gonna do what the fuck
he just did an interview with Charlemagne the God.
Big E was just on
Breakfast. It's like one of the biggest interviews they've done in a long time.
And they had like
crazy numbers.
They had like his first and last name. They didn't even have like the Big E. It was like a
Big E, like his whole
actual name.
It was really sick. And like even everyone on the show, like what's her name?
Angela Yee.
Angela Yee was like, even like I'm not a pro wrestling fan, but like I have a Booty-O shirt, and like that's fucking cool, you know? Like you're not a pro wrestling fan, but you have a Booty-O shirt.
It's a brand, dude.
Yeah,
like that's a whole thing. It's a different level of stardom for sure.
I mean, we all bought Booty-O cereal.
WWE is there's no thanks to them for that. That's all Big E and Kofi and Xavier Woods doing, making the best out of what they were given, and deservingly so.
If any of you or anyone listening to this has not listened to the New Days podcast and them talk about like how fucking terrified they were and how they did like literally anything and everything to like get to where they are, like you need to listen to those episodes. They're some of the best shit I've ever listened to.
Yeah, they were literally set up for failure with the New Day gimmick. Like, remember the vignettes of that? Like, it was fucking terrible.
Wire. Oh my god.
And like,
bad.
Did you see the fucking audacity of the WWE posting that? Like not that long ago? They were like, "Oh, it's a new." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! You wanted this to go bad."
Yeah.
We just passed Halloween, and we had some bad news come out of a pretty big night of independent wrestling. As you see, I am wearing a Danhausen shirt. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you are, you should probably subscribe to the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever the case might be, adding a follow or a subscribe, like subscribing to us, if I could speak, that'd be sick. Means a lot too. But anyway, if you're on YouTube and you're seeing the Danhausen shirt, unfortunately, Danhausen and Mance Warner both had leg injuries. What sounded to be both ankle injuries. It turns out it was a compound ankle fracture for Mance Warner. And then Danhausen broke his tibia and his fibia. And so he'll be out for quite some time as well. Pretty shitty news to come out on
Get Wellhausen.
Get Wellhausen.
Be very nice. Be very evil. Anywhere you'd like. Get back in the ring.
Warner, so Ethan and I went to a handful of GCW shows over the past few months. We went to Chicago. We went to New York. And I think I speak for Ethan as well when I say inadvertently, Mance Warner was part of our favorite moments. What I mean by that, we would be at these events. We'd be sitting down or whatever. And every event we were at, this old fucking bastard was there. Old ass dude. And he had on this shirt, and in block letters, it said,
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Mancer did my wife.
That's all it said. That's it.
And this man, he loved it too. He was proud of that shit. He was walking around with a beer in his hand everywhere, repping hard for Mancer fucking his wife. And picture it, middle-aged white man. Mancer fucked my wife.
You could just say Jim Cornette was there. It's fine.
Same fucking person, really. But yeah, both of those guys from, I think all 5 of us here, just get well soon. We'd love to see you back as soon as possible. And then the other big news of the week. I mean, we were talking last week about the potential with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. And news came out that Mox checked himself into an inpatient rehab facility for his alcohol problems. So best wishes to Jon Moxley. Not that he needs it, man. He's a tough-ass dude. And if he's half as tough as he portrays himself to be, he's going to whoop this thing's ass too. So get well soon to Mox as well.
Yes.
And there's always people that need help.
Get the help that you think that you need. Don't be afraid to do that. It's a strong thing.
It's mega tough, and hats off to, I think, a lot of the wrestlers in the industry right now. There hasn't been a single bad thing that anybody said about Jon Moxley, which is, I think, says a lot about Mox himself and how close like the entire wrestling community is. Like, it's not like a us versus them type bullshit that a lot of the fans want. So I don't know. It was a cool moment of insight that kind of showed exactly where everybody was with him. and how important he is. So get well soon to him too as well.
Amen.
Yes,
I also think it showed a lot of AEW and Tony Khan's true colors, that it wasn't a thing. And, nobody was there for the conversation, but I highly doubt Tony's first response was worrying about the tournament and whatever they had planned. You know what I mean? 100% it was all about, you get the help you need, we'll figure this other shit out later,
Yeah, like this shit is important when it comes to you having a daughter at home and you have a beautiful brand new wife and you're building this family, and like, brother, whatever the situation is, or like you just grew up drinking like a lot of us did, like that shit can get out of control, and we've seen it time and time again. And especially when you're somebody that puts your body through that 300 plus days a year in some companies. Luckily his schedule is a little lighter now, but like,
man,
who's to say like what it's done to your body over the years, the stress you have of travel. You can't blame anyone for being in that situation. And I give him beyond kudos for knowing that he needs to go get help and wanting it. And like just his wife's response to it. I don't know if you saw the tweet. I don't have it like in front of me or word for word, but essentially it was something like, I've never been so proud of the man that I love. And like, that's the truth. It's like, you don't have to look down at someone for needing help. Like, people fall on their face every single day. It's the people that get back up, and the people that, rather it be a chip that tells you did it, or you just patting yourself on the back when you reach a year, And like, whatever he has to do to get healthy and be in the right frame of mind, I'd love to see him back in the ring. But like, that obviously comes with be in the right state of mind. Last thing I want is for you to hurt yourself, and especially hurt somebody else. And that's the last thing that he wants to.
Yeah. Renee's tweet was, "Thanks for this outpouring of support. John is every bit of the badass we all know him to be. I couldn't be more proud of him for getting the proper help that he needs and being given the space to put his health first. Couldn't possibly love this man more." So just a lot of love to that family, man.
Definitely.
Renee just comes off as an angel of a human, and John's always been like nice to people like that he interacts with. Like, went to the GCW shows in Tampa where he was on Bloodsport, like took pictures with the fans after the fact. It was like past when I left, but he was waiting around about to go get a beer and was just sitting there bullshitting with fans, like taking pictures and stuff. So not a dude that's full of himself, and he's one of the biggest stars in wrestling. So certainly some love to him for sure.
For sure.
Hell yeah. Has anybody got anything on current pro wrestling before we dive into the Reign of Terror?
Real quick. I just want to give a shout out to King Xavier.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
I just want to give a shout out to King Xavier, man. That's my boy. I love Xavier Woods. Consequences create forever.
Consequences create. Never forget.
I just remember him throwing up in a ring. That's all I have memory. So
God,
it's fine.
God damn it.
We do love King.
Never let it die.
Anyways, people don't forget.
Portland, let's get into this. WWE No Way Out 2003.
Brother.
Yes, sir. February 23rd, 2003, to be exact, at the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is not the first time that WWE has returned to Montreal after the screw job. Several other times, but tonight they let that shit run wild.
So it's not the first time?
No.
So
it's not the first pay-per-view.
It's the first pay-per-view back there.
So I had asked Mike about this while we're waiting for you guys to set up, and then they did a lot of Raws and They did a couple of Raws and SmackDowns, but this is the first pay-per-view since the screw job. So like it's like there's like an extra added like level of like importance to this because it has been quite a few years since literal clusterfuck had happened. So
yes, the clusterfuck. Well, they don't try to give us one here with attendance of 15,100 people roughly at a buy rate of 450,000. This is the fifth No Way Out event. It is the fourth annual, however. First taking place in 98, called No Way Out in Texas in Your House. St. Valentine's Day Massacre did replace it, I believe, in 99.
Wow.
The infamous Stone Cold and McMahon Steel Cage match.
Yes.
So that's the only glimp in No Way Out's history at the time, which was also the debut of Paul White, who we will be seeing later on in this event.
No jeans this time.
No jeans. Big Show.
Big Show and jeans. Yo, I'm on Team Jeans, bro. I'm on Team Jeans, guys. I'm
about to make some Team Jeans and Team No Jeans shirts over here.
I'm gonna buy you a whole set of jeans for Christmas, bud.
I'll take them.
Before we dive into the first match,
just send him a shit ton of Big Show size jeans.
Size 87 waist jeans.
We're gonna take Christmas pictures with his family. Everyone's gonna be in them shit.
Before we dive into the first match, Cortland, I have in my notes the sound of Evanescence's hit single "Bring Me to Life" plays out the intro. Again, at the time, this is a home run on pay-per-view theme music choice.
Yes.
Also, I forget how much I enjoy those like panning shots of like the crowd as they're going live and like zooming in on fan like signs and stuff. Good shit, man. I enjoyed it a ton.
Always.
This crowd was great too. Like this crowd was amazing the whole night.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. So the pre-card we have is Sunday Night Heat. Have Rey Mysterio going over Jamie Noble in 4 minutes and 53 seconds. And we don't get the typical open for a pay-per-view where we usually have been seeing the last few months, where it's, you know, the classic Freddie Blassie sitting here in an old locker room, and we got black and white shots of this and this angle showing up and so forth. This time we just get the old cellar, and we're just shooting through the winds, and we just get a random guy that pops up on a cage, and No Way Out, Raw, and SmackDown presented, baby. And it looks cool as hell. But Bring Me to Life by Evanescence, which is the sound, I feel, of 2003.
Definitely.
Like you said.
Definitely.
We get Coaching King here.
I loved Coach opening this. That's the only other note that I have. Coachman leading us all like into this on commentary stood out as a massive positive. I told Ethan this. His voice just sounded really fucking good. Like he sounded confident in everything he said, like to open. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I can't disagree with that.
I guess.
We do have Coach here after JR was attacked by Eric Bischoff, which is just
black
fun.
belt in karate. Eric Bischoff, 8th degree or whatever the fuck.
8th degree black belt.
He kicked his head through a cement block, right?
Hell yeah, he did.
He smashed the cement block on his head.
Do you think that Eric Bischoff can beat up Goku?
I think Eric Bischoff could 100% beat up Goku.
I'm gonna leave this one to y'all.
Y'all talk a whole lot of shit for no reason.
I bet Eric Bischoff could beat up your dad.
Well, the opening match is a classic, in my opinion. It's Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy. And now, I've said before we dipped last week into Halloween Havoc that I thought that Jeff Hardy has been walking around like he just jumped out of a well of opiates. And I don't mean I mean a drenching well. Like this man just crawled out like the fucking ring. And he's just looking rough as hell. But it doesn't change the fact that he puts on one hell of a match, in my opinion. He has a amazing springboard corkscrew off of the middle rope to the outside. There's a lot of good storytelling here. They do a lot of it in the ring.
Yeah.
Which means a lot to me because you just don't see it a lot. This, I believe, is Jeff Hardy's last pay-per-view in the company before his departure.
He gets released.
He does get released in April, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Jericho is over as a heel in this crowd.
It's
obviously,
awesome.
They're in Canada, so Jericho's
It
getting.
doesn't count. He's in Canada.
I actually didn't think he was that. There was the initial yes, our fucking guy is here because he opens the pay-per-view, right? But then, as he's walking down the ramp, you kind of hear cheers to boos.
Yeah, there was a point in the match.
Let's boo this.
There was a point in the match that I specifically remember. Jericho, I forgot what he did, Jeff Hardy, but you hear boos instantly. Like everybody starts booing, and then it just gets drowned by the loudest Y2J chant that I've probably ever heard in my life.
This crowd was all over the fucking place.
I enjoyed it though, man. It felt like they were smart in what they were cheering for and booing for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't quite what I expected from it. I expected, considering it's the first one back since the screw job, you might think they'd be a little hostile or a little,
Eventually, they were.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
We're getting there.
On a very undeserving person,
Good
but
Lord, yeah,
we'll get there.
But as far as this match goes, it was really good. At the time, like Cortland said, Jeff was, to me, his Raw matches and shit were so sloppy. So for instance, me and Mike were comparing ratings on this, and I watched this like probably 2 months ago, and I gave it a little lower than what I think a lot of people went. But I think that was contributed to the fact of like Jeff was so sloppy in the weeks heading into this, and they were doing this thing where they were kind of trying to turn him heel and turn him face, and he was just being fucking weird. So watching it initially, I was like kind of just off put by it, but they really brought me back into it. It's a great match. I mean,
I love the match, dude. It was really good.
Because you, Ethan, have been going back through and watching all the Raws and SmackDowns, including these. So, like, you actually got to have like that little extra where they were talking about how like fucking Shawn Michaels was trying to like be like a mentor to Jeff at the time as well, and like I don't fully remember it a whole lot, but
it was really weird. Like they just would like do stuff one week where Jeff was like acting up and trying to hit everybody with chairs and shit, and then the next week Shawn Michaels would come up to him and be like, "Oh, you at one point you're just kind of going off the rails." It seemed like, I mean, they could have been trying to go for a story, but it also felt like it would flip flop from week to week. Which, considering he's about to be let go, it kind of would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, in this matchup, we get a really cool whisper in the wind, a swanton bomb that Y2J gets a rope break on.
Dude.
After a reverse twist of fate, Jeff, which I love the reverse twist of fate.
Jeff misses it.
Yeah, Jeff misses the second swanton and catches an awesome lion salt for a long Canadian 2 count. Yeah. Now, here's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
In Canada, it sounds like they love to extend the 1, 2, and they just let that shit run forever. And it's awesome, dude. Every time they're there, I feel like I hear it more there than anywhere. Jericho has a great rope leverage pin, and Jericho catches Jeff attempting a hurricanrana from the top with a devastating powerbomb. Immediately going into the Lion Tamer, switch to a Lion Salt, the Walls of Jericho, or not Lion Salt, Walls of Jericho, and holds long after the submission, which tells a good bit of the story. Shawn Michaels runs out for the rescue. Christian close behind. Jericho and Christian get a double DDT from Shawn, clotheslining Y2J out, giving Christian the sweet chin music, and that pretty much wraps us up here. And it's really interesting. Because, however, I did say that I believe this is Jeff's last pay-per-view, and it might be. But I do remember, like, right after this, I might be mistaken, but he had this weird love thing with Trish Stratus that was going on. And I want to say that his last match in the company was in March or April, and it was against The Rock on Raw. And it was an awful 3-minute match. I might be wrong, but I remember watching it like as a kid and being like, damn, Jeff, that sucked. And then like next week, never seeing Jeff again. And I was like, damn. And like the whole story just got killed. And I was like, he was
real bad, didn't you?
Great job shitting the bed, buddy.
Yeah. Well, next up, we have a backstage segment with Team Angle.
Ratings for the match?
Yeah.
Ethan, what'd you give
it? 3 stars.
Yep.
The Swanton Bomb finish was top notch shit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize, like, I remember thinking as a kid, like, fuck Chris Jericho, like, whatever, he's all right. But like, I feel like that was kind of like the thought with Jericho of like him not being a main event player at the time. But like, dude, he was like incredible at this time. Like, great shit. I went 3.5 on it. I loved it. The only other piece that I had was that shockingly the Canadian crowd was mega hot for Shawn Michaels.
That was a shock to me too. That was one of the things I mentioned in my review. I was blown away when they popped hard as fuck for him taking out Jericho and Christian.
The only other thing I have is don't hunt what you can't kill. It's still a shitty line, and whoever okayed that to be printed on T-shirts for Sean should be beat up.
God, I love you
like that.
Sounds like I got an outfit plan for you.
Oh yeah, I give it 3.5. I give this match 3.5. Like I said, I thought it was great storytelling. There was great spots. Chris Jericho carries it like holy shit. He carries this match. I could have gone without the Shawn Michaels and Christian run-in. I feel like the story didn't need it. Jericho and Shawn can tell a story. You could book that WrestleMania, right? Without doing any of these bullshit ass segments, any of these attacks, and that match would have stolen the show no matter fucking what. No matter what you've done with it. So I could have gone without it, but it doesn't change and take away how I feel about the match. Like I said, I gave it 3.5 stars. I think that it could have been better if I didn't know the outcome of Jeff looking at it with 2021 eyes.
Yeah. I gave it.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead, Beb.
I gave it 3 3/4. I gave it 4 initially, but then I was like, that's way too high. I gave it 3 3/4.
I love it.
I fucking love this match, dude. I really fucking did.
Great. An opener?
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
An opener, you can't.
One subtle thing, and it's gonna be a weird thing to notice, but one subtle thing that I love is when a pay-per-view kicks off. Like you said, you guys love Coach's voice. When pay-per-view kicks off, the opening monologue is straight as fuck, and there's no promos, there's no interviews. It's just straight to a motherfucker that people love, and Chris Jericho just comes out, and then you get a drugged out Jeff Hardy, who's clearly on drugs, comes out afterward. He's dripping paint, sweating everywhere. Like, it was just an amazing match, dude. Everything was just like,
yo, you made that sound like every show starts with a drugged out Jeff Hardy. You're like, yeah, you get this one guy everybody loves.
This one dude is like fucking coked out of his mind, and he's like wet for some reason, but we don't know why.
Depending on the city that we're in, it's the hometown hero. Then you get drugged out Jeff Hardy. Oh,
you're gonna get this fucking just opiate out of his mind, Southern boy, and he's gonna be putting black fluorescent paint on his fucking face.
Yeah,
Casey,
what'd you go on this match?
Oh my god, I love the match.
I'm gonna give it 3 1/4. 3 1/4. I will say, I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if it's because of the fact that you had a Shawn Michaels with a Christian run-in that the timing was off. But when Shawn gets into that ring, he is fucking walking. He takes the slowest steps to Jericho to be like, to like to have like Christian catch up. I don't know. I watched it. I had to go back a little bit and be like, why was he so fucking slow? Like, because then it's like he's like slow at the beginning, and then Christian comes in. They do their like quick beat down, and then like he fires up to do like the double DDT, but like it just felt like the timing was really off on it. But I could also just be like nitpicking like Sean because I can.
You know what kind of pants he had on?
Oh, they were jeans.
They weren't. They were khakis.
Were they khakis? Oh, damn. I will
He's about to go hunting.
I will also say Jericho overshooting the turnbuckle, like from an Irish whip, was great.
Jesus, yeah,
because he gets some fucking air to like clip his head on the top of the turnbuckle to then go outside of the ring, and then at one point he goes, "Oh yeah." And then another like great, just like a nice spot, which I feel like just because of the moves that both of them are able to pull out, it gets like kind of undershadowed. But Jericho going for like a second rope crossbody to be met with the harshest fucking just double leg drop kick. He gets kicked so fucking hard. But like, I feel like for an opener, like 3 1/4, it was a good start to say the least.
This is my highest rated match of the night, just so you know.
Whoa. Damn big dog.
Oh,
I like that.
So
I like that.
So 3.5. 3.5 is our upper echelon for this card.
That's it,
for Mike.
baby.
Well,
which is
3.5 is the highest I rated a match on this card.
Oh, okay.
I hope it's Stone Cold Eric Bischoff. We'll get there. It's fine.
Oh, I forgot.
It would have been 5
next?
stars in the Tokyo Dome.
Go fuck yourself.
All
right. Well, next up is a backstage segment with Team Angle. And essentially he says, people may say you suck, but they suck.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I love Team Angle.
Kurt Angle also said something else, bro.
What did he say?
Kurt Angle said, "We're not in America. This is Canada, which is filled with bitter and jealous people who have no Olympic heroes of their own." And I just thought that was hilarious.
That's
yeah, he essentially TLDRs it to, oh yeah, our opponents tonight, they're just like this Canadian crowd. They fucking suck and they're losers. Like, it was awesome.
My note for this, so it's like Y2J Jeff Hardy. The next note is Team Angle promo talk shit about Canada. That's it.
It's good.
Well, next up, we have Evolution arrives in a limo and a flash at Stone Cold Steve Austin's truck.
Yes.
The super inconspicuous Stone Cold Steve Austin mobile.
Yeah.
I
literally wrote down Triple H without facial hair freaks me out.
No, he looks like a freaking freak, man.
It's weird.
Because we're getting the beginnings of Evolution where he doesn't have his hair either pulled back or it's already wet, so it's that weird, like, floofy fucking mane.
Fucking weird
but
shit.
he hasn't figured out that he wants to kind of look like fucking like he's the lead singer of Metallica yet, so like he hasn't grown the facial hair out, so it's very weird. Orton looks like he's fucking 16 years old. It's Evolution's here.
And Batista's fucking tribal son on his stomach is taking over his whole body like venom.
Hey, that should took him to the top, man.
It did.
It did. Fuck.
All right. Well, next up, we have RVD and Kane versus Lance Storm and William Regal. And we've gone on.
Oh, this was a blast.
The champs.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to know who's going to get started on this
Before we even start this match, I fucking hate Coach and King as a fucking commentary team.
Yeah,
okay. I'm gonna piggyback off of this, and I don't know if this is your feelings as well, Pat. I do feel like what Mike had said at the beginning is true, where Coach is a very professional and like everything he says sounds good. Their chemistry together is fucking dog shit, though.
Yeah, straight up, literally.
King himself is only good with JR. Jerry the King Lawler with anyone else is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, I can agree with that.
And it's always because he has you have JR who's kind of borderline tired of his shit at all times. Yeah. So it's like that chemistry works well. But like, I feel like he tried this with Coach and you're like, it's just not working.
What I think too is JR gets Jerry Lawler's weird Southern creepy guy humor.
Yes.
You know, not anybody else. You know, you're not going to put Jonathan Coachman or Michael Cole. Like, Jerry Lawler be saying some weird ass shit. You know, like, JR knows how
John
to
O'Clock, motherfucker.
Well, fuck him.
Keep going.
Anywho, sorry.
Regal actually gets concussed in this match.
Yes, he does.
Can we jump to that?
It starts fast and hard. A slam from Kane to Regal, easy for me to say, seems to make his bell ring, is what I have.
Puts him out cold.
This
is the last time he wrestled that year. It's fucking February.
It's the most routine power slam that he somehow fucked up. Like, it's like so bad. That like you want, like even in like the replays, like there's no mistaking that he didn't land on his fucking head and neck. Like it's clear as day that Kane didn't give two fucks about protecting him. Like he just went up and up. He went literally up and over with them and straight onto his fucking head.
I need you guys to understand. My initial sentence here is yes. This is what you needed to do with Kane. He looked awesome in the opener. Next sentence. Oh, he concussed William Regal with a body slam.
Yeah. Well,
he fucked him
tags himself in, and Regal and Storm had great tag chemistry.
Yeah, they were great.
It's quick tags. cutting the ring in half.
They were great.
Love seeing it. Ethan and I have talked about this before. We fucking love Lance Storm and William Regal tag team. I think it's some of the coolest.
It's good shit,
man.
It's good shit.
I will say this is several, podcasts in of us watching this time frame and them being champions, and they have grown on me more and more and more. And just I'm so fucking sad that
I feel like people if they watch back our podcast are gonna watch us fall in love with Lance Storm.
Yeah.
Goddamn right. What is he again, Pat?
I truly believe
he's the shit, man. I love Lance Storm.
He's a baddie with no personality.
I was waiting on somebody to say it. God damn it! Yeah. We're gonna reinvigorate the love for Lance on fucking wrestling Twitter. That's what I want.
L4L, love for Lance.
Really and truly, this whole
love for Lance.
This match to me was just humorous. Not that Regal getting hurt is humorous. That isn't humorous. I hope he's all right, but that man was staggering around. I don't know where the fuck he's at. And then the finish. I don't mean to fast forward to the finish. But what do I remember from this match? Regal dancing his ass around and fucking Kane getting his mask turned backwards and chokeslamming RVD. The most fucking goofy shit of all fucking time. It's so...
Kane doesn't get a hot tag. The crowd is hot as fuck for Kane.
Yes, man.
And RVD. Oh, man. Kane goes for a choke slam on Regal and Storm. Storm jumps on the back of Kane and stretches Kane's mask. RVD tags himself in, delivering a side kick from the top turnbuckle to William Regal.
Yes.
Storm pushing RVD into a blinded Kane. And Kane choke slams his own partner, RVD.
Drops that man
on Regal goes for the 3 as a legal man. And that is your finish.
A big red monster, but he gets turned so fucking upside down by his mask getting turned. It just is like,
hey,
what?
In defense,
I
don't know how many times anyone's actually tried that on Kane, so I'm giving it originality points because Lance Storm was smart enough to fuck with his mask.
And see, look at Lance. He ain't got no personality, but he's got the brains.
He got the brains, baby.
Because he's always serious. If you could just be serious for a moment, you can move his mask.
Speaking of
Lance Storm jumped on this man's neck and grabbed his mask, and I was dying. I was like in tears, bro. Okay, it's just like, oh.
You know what I want? I want just a clip of 5 minutes of Kane fucking with his mask.
It felt like 5 minutes. It was a very long time.
Well, I need more.
I'm sorry, Mike. What were you saying before?
Go ahead.
Speaking of brains, Lance Storm has them. William Regal's were fucking scrambled with cheese. This was the last time Regal competed in 2003. The concussion paired with a heart condition that was misdiagnosed as a parasite from an India tour. Just so you guys know, a heart condition misdiagnosed as a parasite shuts him down for the remainder of the year. Incredible.
Jesus.
That's insane.
I gave
What'd
it
you give this
2.5
match,
stars.
Mike?
2.5 stars.
2.5.
2.5.
2.25 right now.
I gave it 2 3/4. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
You know what? I'm gonna
In
go
honor
ahead.
of Kane playing with him.
He's not a winning star. I'm up 0.5. 3 star match.
Hold on, Ethan, what are you trying to say?
Oh, I just said in honor of Kane playing with himself for 5 minutes, I'll give it 2.5.
I'm gonna go
dumb bastard.
I'm gonna go 2 3/4 because I like the fact that Lance used his fucking noggin.
Yeah, dude. And like I said, man, these are quick tags. Like every time his partner were in the corner, it was immediate tag. Lance is always there. It's like in this era, it's really hard. Like I said this on another podcast before, 2 or 3 ago, that it's really hard for me to find a bad Lance Storm match. And that honestly stems all the way to ECW in most of his matches. And that's why I enjoyed Lance Storm and I enjoyed Jerry Lynn and Just Incredible. And I loved watching his stuff with Shane Douglas. Like the work that all of them did together is so hard to try to compare it to anything else that we've seen now. It's like you're not gonna find another Lance Storm, you know. Like he was just
good shit.
The love for Lance that is fucking exuding through this goddamn podcast every week is just insane.
And
I'm just also I'm not gonna convince anyone to change their ratings, Mike. But if you take away fumbling, bumbling fool Kane, you have a super concussed Regal almost instantly in this match. Still working the whole match, Storm and RVD. Like that alone is a good match.
I love that Kane tried to pick him up and then was like, fuck it, I'll pin him. He'll kick out. Like that was the best part of it. Which how Kane was just like, big dumb idiot.
Like, he ain't fucking kicking out.
There ain't no shotties kicking out. We're fucking running this in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm sticking at 2.5. You can suck me the fuck off. It was man.
It was something.
Then they slow-mo it. Like imagine in 2021 with what we know about leading to CE, them slow-moing somebody landing on their bean. Bah! It just vibrates their head, and then you just see him go and not move. Out fucking cold.
And they just continue the match. Quick tag.
Yeah, just get him out.
Pin him. Shoot on him, brother.
On apron, coach. Put me in, coach. I got one more for the team.
Fucked up.
Look,
there's a moment on the outside where Regal and Storm kind of meet up after the fact, and you could almost see on Regal's face, he's like, "Where the fuck am I?
Yeah,
dude,
how did I get here?"
And how can you not love this match? Regal's fucking lost. Kane's jumbled the fuck up.
Fuck it.
You've got one person on each team that has no idea what the fuck is going on.
And then you got the baddie with the brains.
You got baddie with
the damn eyes a goddamn kite. Frog splash.
4 stars. Fuck it.
Fuck it. I'll go to the fucking work.
4.5 in the Tokyo Dome.
4 and a 5th, so it's 420. There it is. Drink it in, you fucking pieces of dog shit.
All right, after
this, we get stuck in Lance Storm territory. We got Josh Matthews, Michael Cole's half-broken stepchild.
Oh, Josh Matthews.
He interviews
motherfucker.
V-Money and Shannon Moore. The man, Shannon Moore. Shout out North Carolina. And they're saying that Matt Hardy had to drop 10 pounds 2 weeks to compete for the Cruiserweight Championship against Billy Kidman.
Good story there.
However, before we get into that, in this interview, Matt sees Jeff and says, "Excuse me."
I have the direct quote.
I do too. If you weren't so wrapped up in your own imagination, that's a little glimpse to the future, and continue to be a Manitou follower like you were for all those years past,
an MFer,
then you probably wouldn't lose every match you're in nowadays. Have you thought about that?
And then what does Jeff do?
Dude. Real quick. He says that, right? This motherfucker makes the smuggest face. Just like smug as shit, just like,
You ever think about that?
Smacks the shit out of him. Shannon stops Matt, reminding him his match is about to come on. And we get the introduction of the SmackDown commentary team, which is Michael Cole and Taz.
Fuck Michael Cole.
Okay.
Tips. However, this match runs 9 minutes and 31 seconds. Matt Hardy V1 versus Billy Kidman. And
Matt is known by Snow and Ice.
Yes. My favorite thing about Matt Hardy in this era is the entrance and the Matt facts. They show up every Monday. If you not watch or follow Matt Hardy brand on the internet, go find this man for Matt Fact Mondays because it never gets old. This time he what was it again? Matt is
annoyed by Snow and Ice.
Matt's annoyed by Snow and Ice. Matt does a quick deep arm drag and starts doing jumping jacks immediately, which got a huge pop out of me, dude. I just thought it was one of the funniest things that Matt's done. And Taz says Jeff had so much paint, he looked like he had jaundice.
Bro, Taz said a lot of things in this match. I have so many Taz quotes, man.
Yo,
can I say my favorite
He
one?
says a lot of things in this match.
Hold on, Ethan.
I have one. Now, this one, maybe no one else wrote this down. Maybe no one remembers. But I put it in my review, and I know it was said.
Oh, I know I wrote one down.
Taz says, Shannon Moore is addicted to BJ.
Yes.
Michael Cole says, BJ? Taz says, yeah, banana juice.
Banana juice.
I know
What
we all probably caught it, but I'm gonna read mine. It's you know why Matt looks heavier?
Yes.
Nut butter.
He rubs nut butter all over himself.
He says nut
He
butter.
said he rubs it
and
on
then,
his head, neck, and chest area to make him sweat different.
he says nut butter, and then Cole goes nut butter, and then he has to clarify. But I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I have Michael Cole's response written down, actually. Michael Cole responded after he explained it, and he said, what the hell are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It was so funny. I audibly popped at it. Fuck Michael Cole, though. In my notes, actually.
Nothing like I heard that shit and I rewinded like 100 times. It was so funny.
Something that nobody else probably has written down. My first note of the whole match: SmackDown referee Jimmy Corderas looks like shit.
When has he ever not?
He looks horrible.
He has a
He looks like a mess. This dude's been through 3 divorces. Every time they've left him for his best friend, it's fucked. His head. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Chin strap and clown.
I want to say,
cheers to you, scumbag son of a bitch.
I think this match in particular is where I started to get really frustrated with the crowd. Because I swear to God, when Billy Kidman came out, 3 people cheered for him. There was no booze. There was no booze on the opposite end. It was dead fucking silent.
Super flat.
And there was
Billy
just like
Kidman and his theme song. That's a love relationship right there.
Yeah.
The other note that I have is because this is a Billy Kidman match, Cortland rated this 4 stars. That's a true note that I have written down. Because this is a Billy Kidman match, Cortland rated this 4 stars.
I do not. You can run if you want to, but you can't.
Yeah. I actually stopped myself from going on a full fucking Billy Kidman's the greatest.
We love Billy Kidman, man. We love Billy Kidman.
This man is accepted in every house I ever owned. Love that man to death. I want to point out something about Shannon Moore. I don't know if y'all know this. They're calling Shannon Moore a little MFer.
my favorite thing that's ever happened in pro wrestling.
This whole V1 is just fucking great, man. I loved it when it was happening. I love it even more that I'm older and I really get the humor behind it. It's just fucking awesome, dude. It's odd seeing Matt work a powerhouse style, though.
Yeah.
In this match, we don't really see that a lot, obviously. And Billy misses a shooting star press, or a shooting star that just looked fucking devastating. Matt lands another devastating twist of fate for a late 2 count. Matt sets Billy on top of the rope for a superplex. Kevin reverses, looking for another star press. Shannon Moore trips Billy. Matt captures the Cruiserweight Championship following an avalanche twist of fate.
Mike, what's up?
Billy Kidman kicks out of that first twist of fate, and Matt Hardy looks at the ref and says, "No way, that was the twist of fate!" And I lost my fucking mind. That was so genuinely good to me. I loved it because it was like, there's no fucking way. Like, that was my finisher. No way he kicked out of that. It was good shit.
Yeah. It is. It's fucking awesome, man. I loved a lot of stuff that Matt was doing around this time. Like I said, a really cool avalanche twist of fate.
Yeah.
If that's what I could call it. I suppose that's what it would be called, right? Avalanche twist of fate.
That shit was sick.
The way that Billy takes it, it's fucking awesome. It's like he just fucking floats off of the turnbuckle, but he lands like this close to the corner, you know, like where his feet are. Like, it's fucking awesome. huge Billy Kidman
as
fan.
they intended it to be. You know what I mean? It was as rough as they intended it to be, but it was still so smooth.
Yeah, I gave this match 3.5 stars. I wanted to give it more, but I do feel like I am biased, especially when it comes to the Hardys and especially when it comes to Billy Kidman. I love this match. Personally, this is one of my favorites between the two of them. Yeah, man, I enjoyed it a lot. How do y'all feel about
it? Anyone?
Go on ahead,
Pat. What you got? Go ahead, Pat.
It's like kind of a side note that I have written down. It's not really necessarily about the match, and I don't mean to bring the pod into a somber mood, but I think
you should have
it's weird. Here he goes. I think it's weird that this night we had a Jeff singles match and a Matt Hardy singles match. Jeff lost his match. You get the backstage convo, the slap, the real disrespectful shit you hear from Matt Hardy. The slap, Matt Hardy goes on to win the Cruiserweight Championship, and then Jeff gets released like 2 months later. Sure. It's like, it's sad, you know, because you know
out in front of you, like on TV, but in real life. You know what I mean?
In real life, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you go though, Pat?
Except like all that. No, it was. I rated it low as fuck. It was like 2.25, bro.
Oh yeah, that's where I rated it. Don't feel bad. And that to me, that's not bad though. I don't rate something like that when it's bad. Something bad is 2 and below.
Yeah. I went 3.25 on it. Something that like stuck out to me a lot was that Kidman fighting to overcome like the odds with Shannon Moore didn't feel important until it was important, right? And I love that shit. Like it shouldn't constantly be a threat, but when it's a threat, it should be a fucking threat, you know? And so it just stuck out to me. I loved the match. I thought it was great. I ended my note with all hail Mattitude trademark symbol.
I forgot about MFers.
Oh, yeah!
I forgot about MFers, and I got real excited when they brought it up again in this match. I was like, fuck. And it's one of those things where, like, I was a kid, you don't fucking pay attention to it really a whole lot. So them bringing it up was great, but I give it 3. I do feel like Kidman himself was always underappreciated in his run with the WWE. And it always bummed me out because he put on some fucking just insane matches. And also, fucking that goddamn finisher is terrifying as shit. He's the only one that can really land it.
Yeah. I feel like the Cruiserweight division was overlooked, though, at the time.
Oh, constantly.
The Cruiserweight division was so good, man.
Constantly.
It wasn't taken seriously until you saw Jamie Noble and Billy Kidman really put on classics that you saw on Velocity. You saw on Heat. Yeah, but over time, those matches were openers for pay-per-views. They eventually, if I'm not mistaken, got that feud got put on WrestleMania on main card.
That was some white trash shit.
So like, I know. It was awful. Oh, I'm being double wide, baby. Like,
Jamie Noble and Nydia. Oh my God, Ethan, I saw you talk, but I didn't hear you, buddy. What'd you say?
Oh, no, it wasn't nothing important. I was going to say, does anybody remember the Paul London? And it was, I can't remember who he was facing. The one where he got busted open? Or does nobody remember that?
I'm terrible with this.
It was, I want to think it was Billy Kidman, or it may have been Chavo. I can't remember. I just remember that match from when I was a kid being really fucking good around the time.
Fucking miss Paul.
Was it the split of him and Brian Kendrick and Paul London?
Spanky, yeah.
I don't think they had teamed yet. It was like 04. It was before 04, 05. It was right when Paul London started with WWE.
Okay. For true.
I'll have to look it up.
I'll bring it back to you next week.
I love some Paul London. Anyways, move along.
All right. Well, next up, we see Benoit and Brock Lesnar and Stephanie McMahon checking on an attacked Edge. Edge is down in the back. We do not see what happened. But we can only assume, we can only assume. Anyone got a comment for this segment?
Yo, how y'all feel about Christian Wall being the first person I've seen him cry?
Inconsolable. The back door's open. The dogs are outside. It's a tough go for Chris Benoit here.
I wrote down, and I want no one to get mad. I wrote down, there's something about Benoit freaking out over his lifeless body.
Any chance at monetization? We literally just flushed down the toilet.
We can't until after.
Monetized.
It just can't. Dude, come on, man. He's like freaking out over his body, and he's not moving. And he's like fucking Edge. Like it's not. It's just not.
It's called long-term storytelling and
Jay, bro.
Storylines.
Somebody take the fucking microphone from these two motherfuckers.
I got you. My bad.
Next, we've got Big Show versus Undertaker.
Now, see, this is what's going to get me fired up. Big Show and Undertaker.
Undertaker and Big Show. Big Show is with Paul Heyman. We get a package here. This match goes 14 minutes and 8 seconds, and you see Show throw Taker from a stage to equipment. Taker last, Rise, Kendrick, Brother of Love, choke slam, Cannon, I think is who it was in the package.
It was Chris Kanyon, and given that we just had the Dark Side of the Ring episode recently, like it just felt dirty.
I literally have,
that.
Jesus, the Canyon incident was part of the build up to this match.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It's rough.
It's felt dirty.
Ass cheeks.
Also in all caps, no jeans for Big Show.
I wrote no more jeans show is how I build this.
It's the
y'all really were just like anti-jeans Big Show, because I was watching this man like, ew, somebody take this man to the big and tall store.
Get that man some pants. Or as Lance calls it, long boys.
Big Show looks better in jeans.
Oh man,
I hate this fucking episode.
No, yo, for real though, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but this match fucking ruled. Go ahead,
Ethan. My bad. No, that's my bad. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, let me get through it. We'll talk about it. Oh, Taker looks awesome here, and Cole saying the big dog is in his yard. I don't know if that sounds familiar to anyone watching current wrestling.
Ooh.
There's a beautiful suplex from Big Show here. I will give Big Show that. I even wrote it down. I thought it was fucking executed flawlessly.
Taker got wrecked up there, buddy. He was straight up in the air.
It was awesome. Heyman screaming. It adds a lot to this match to me. Taker gets busted open, and a time frame that I don't. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know really how I feel about the sequence of how this match went. I feel like you could have told the story in a different way. Maybe I'm just looking at it from my weird pro wrestling.
What way do you have in mind?
I would make.
I want to hear what Ethan has to say.
I don't want to argue.
I personally would make, like, think about this. Do you remember the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match where they're just beating the shit out of every single fucking referee that is near them? You could have done that in this match, and it would have made Big Show look unfucking touchable for the next year. You could have done anything like that, where it's just immediate. Like them just going out of the ring, just staying out of the ring longer than a 10 count, but the ref waving it, knowing that the rivalry is so important, there must be a finish to it.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on and on. And what are you laughing at, Mike?
It's not you. I promise.
Mike found something out. I did,
and it's not important until next episode, which I will touch on.
God damn it! All right. Anywho.
It was like I say, I feel like it could have been just done differently, and it would have told the story and could have extended it longer if that's what they were planning on doing. Luckily, I think this was the shimmy to it. Taker uses a low blow while Brian Hebner was stunned. Go figure, Brian. Big Show Snake Eyes Taker, which I was really surprised to see Undertaker take a move that he usually gives to somebody else every week. But I thought it was cool that he was giving enough to do it. Undertaker does a huge suicide dive that you more so saw later on in his later WrestleMania moments. This is one of his better dives, obviously, because it's 2003 and not 2010.
He still got dangerously close to one of the lights on the ramp.
Yes.
So it's just like the constant, like, he's too fucking big to do them and almost kills himself or someone else in the process. And I think this is one of the first times he's ever done it because everyone lost their fucking minds when he did it.
See, that's the thing. That's what made this so good to me is the effort that both of them put in. Taker was selling his fucking ass off. Big Show was on point. Not that either one of these guys are ever like outright bad. I mean, I guess you could say Big Show's outright bad sometimes. But
how deep was
no, go ahead.
How deep was Taker into the Big Evil moniker at this point?
Deep,
right? We're like, so this is 2003. We're like a solid like we're like over 2 years into this.
2 years.
Yeah. Still the worst fucking entrance ever, though. That song is so bad.
Is that the same guy that sings the Big Show's theme song? It just I need to know.
It is the Big Show. I was going to ask earlier. I don't mean to double back, but I was going to ask: is the Billy Kidman is the artist of that theme the same one as the AJ Styles theme?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. All in whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything at that time was produced by Jim Johnston.
Yeah.
I believe in WWE.
Yeah, rappers, bro.
Anyways, Undertaker does a huge suicide dive to an interfering A-Train. Show plays possum really well. He choke slams Taker while going for a pin. Taker catches Show in a triangle choke for the submission. And it's really surprising that we see it, although it does make sense. You're not going to, if your 3 finishes, one of them being your opponent's finisher as well, you're going to do this trade-off of who's going to get this move done. And what's the best way for you to believe that The Undertaker could beat someone like The Big Show? Because you got to remember, it's The Undertaker. And we look at him as the fucking, full and gray, immortal, sit up from anything, get stepped on and whatever. But we're in the midst of Taker can get beaten by anybody.
Yeah. I have that, dude. I forgot how vulnerable they made Undertaker look during this period.
Yeah, exactly. And it just so doing the triangle choke, rather it doesn't fucking look good because it's not one. You can call it whatever you want. It's just not great. They've changed it 100 times. Hell's Gate, triangle choke, fucking, whatever. Taker grabs a chair to continue the assault, but A-Train slams Taker and says it's his yard. And that's pretty much where they end up with this one. I gave this match 2 1/4. I enjoyed it. Actually, wait, did I say something wrong?
Look, man.
Oh, no, I was wrong. I gave it 2 3/4. 2 3/4 is what I wrote down for it. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was good for what it was. It's really hard for me to enjoy a Big Show match simply because it's just the pace of it is a little hard for me to enjoy sometimes. However, I thought it was super entertaining. And like Ethan said, the effort that the two of them put in for it to be worth the 14 minutes and 8 seconds that you would get out of an Undertaker and Big Show match, I enjoyed it. Because it could have gone on longer and it could have been way slower.
God.
So
my thing about Big Show matches, and this is coming from a guy who's always the indie mark and the Japan mark and all that. So whoop-de-doo, I like spots and shit. But at the same time, when Big Show has a good match, he can be compelling. And it's rare because he moves slow as shit. But when you have somebody like Taker selling his ass off, and the story into this, the build sucked ass. I mean, it was basically Big Show or Taker never getting to get his hands on Big Show, and they did it for like 4 weeks in a row. But then you get down to this moment, and they start this match, and Taker just flips over the fucking top rope and charges his ass. Boom, bang. This, it took 4 weeks to get here to deliver this match that is really good. But, I mean, you could have done this before now. But To me, it's just Taker charges him, gets his hands on him, and then he takes a fucking ass whooping. They headbutting one another, busted open. Taker's fucking. Then that fucking dive, the comeback. This is fucking easy shit. You know what I mean? It's just basic ass pro wrestling. I love basic ass wrestling sometimes.
Yeah, man.
3 and a quarter. That's all
3
for
and a
me.
quarter. All right.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Casey. What you got?
Hell yeah, dude.
So there's 2 things I wanted to touch on, just because I like to always have my little Cody Poogs here. First of all, I think we have gimmick infringement on Randy Orton, of all people. Big Show is being called by Paul Heyman throughout the entire match that he is the legend killer.
Yeah, you called him legend killer a million times.
Like 1,000 times. So I feel like Randy Orton owes Big Show some money.
Wait, is this during Legend Killer or are we pre-Legend Killer?
This is way before.
Randy's been in the business for like 2.5 weeks. Like
he's barely even in Evolution at this point.
He's baby Orton.
Because Randy debuted like April 25th of
02? Yeah, 02.
Right.
So like we're like just under like a year of him being there.
He just started fucking with Evolution. Anyway, go ahead.
The other thing, and it might be controversial, it might not. I don't really know how y'all feel about it. I don't like the weird elements of MMA that Taker added to his arsenal.
That's fair.
I don't like the gloves. I think that he is a dog shit striker. Them constantly being like his strikes are super, and his constantly on his fucking knees and like to your fucking gut.
Striker.
I hate it. That triangle choke, as you already said, Corlin, was absolute dog shit. I just like, for someone who was, at this point we're billing the decade of destruction. He's been in this for a minute. Like he's been doing this. Like he already has this like list of movesets, but then we're now adding more. Like it wasn't necessary for him at all. I think it took me out a little bit of the match because I don't like those elements.
Would you go on it, Casey?
2.25.
I went 2.5 on it. I really enjoyed how big, the Undertaker still showed like small little heel tendencies. The low blow when Brian Hebner got distracted. Speaking of being distracted, fucking Ethan over here cracking.
I'm not the only one. Look down there. There's somebody else snickering too.
It's fine, bud. It hit me just before, which is why I started laughing when I looked to what this leads to in WrestleMania and who is there. The Australian psychopath himself, and I'm very excited to touch on him. Real pumped on one Nathan Jones for.
I don't want to cut you off, but you brought it up, so it's been bugging me. So
here they go, y'all.
We had Rollin' as Taker's theme song, and then randomly we got rid of that theme song for this dog shit one that we have. To then have him but then to have him come back at WrestleMania to have Limp Bizkit play Rollin' live. It just, was there like a money issue? I don't know if anyone else is I don't know if I'm just psychotic enough because I hate that theme song to like not
They wanted
understand.
to make you work for it, but
I guess, but like he had it, he didn't have it, he has it again. Like I forget where Kid Rock was at this point in time when he had that one, because that one's an underappreciated one as well.
Yeah, that shit was good. I'm
sorry, you brought up fucking WrestleMania, and I had to bring it up because it's been
Nate Jones, though. That's where we're headed.
I'm excited.
I'll have you know. Y'all know he debuts at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
His match.
That was his debut.
Yes.
Because I just
finished the whole him in prison fucking gimmick, and now he's just Taker's like side hand guy.
Because I just finished the last SmackDown before Mania 19, and Nathan Jones was supposed to have his debut match. And he just beat the shit out of goddamn Chuck Palumbo in the locker room. And, and Taker's like, "You do that?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "I guess we're just going to have to save your debut for WrestleMania." It was weird.
That is
weird
the best Australian accent ever.
I don't
Since
know
we're
what that
already
fucking
talking
sounds
about
like.
Nathan Jones.
All
Since we
Nathan
are already
Jones is to
talking-
me
Nathan
is a muscled up
Jones.
psychopath fucking convict.
Nathan Jones. This is what I started laughing about, Ethan.
Damn it.
Nathan Jones won 2 awards in 2000.
Worst
Both-
wrestler, right?
Both from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The
Dog
first
shit.
one is Worst Wrestler of 2003. The second one, Most Embarrassing Wrestler of 2003. That is why I was laughing earlier.
He's dog
Because
shit.
we're heading
We'll have
to
to
that son of a
we'll
bitch.
have to unfortunately recover it, but doesn't he only do like a spinning like a roundhouse kick in that match?
It's
And
called
that's it?
what the fuck ever Malachi Black calls his finisher. Let's call it the same fuck.
No, it's don't you fucking dare.
Black Mass. That's right.
Bring Nathan Jones back.
Hell yes.
No,
Justice for Nathan Jones.
Yeah. I was looking to see. I was like,
Movie
oh,
star, though.
I wonder if he's still wrestling. In 2008, Jones signed with Total Stop Action, but nerve damage caused by a cement truck hitting his left arm kept him sidelines, and he didn't wrestle.
Now,
Welcome
how
to
the fuck did that big
legend.
motherfucker get in that scenario?
Australia, that's how.
He
Hey, yo,
played
check out
chicken,
Nathan
buddy.
Jones' IMDb though.
He got some action movies, don't
Quite
he?
a
Hell
few.
yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot
Rico
of them.
in Mortal Kombat 2021, you sons of bitches.
Oh,
Well,
God.
get off Nathan Jones. Nick,
But no. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna let you guys have the match. I'm gonna just stop talking.
That's fair. I loved A-Train's pose over the Undertaker after.
You noticed that no opinion on the Big Show Undertaker match.
what'd you give it a dud?
Look, I'm not gonna say I hated it, but
You hated it.
I hated it, bro. Like, look, I couldn't take it seriously at all, man. First of all, fuck Paul White. Like, I'm not a big fan. I'm not gonna say, like I said, I'm not gonna say I hated the match because it wasn't bad. It just was like,
It's not for you.
I don't care, bro.
It
I
was
don't
a-
like watching
it
two
wasn't-
big dudes wrestle.
It wasn't a great story. It was a slow fucking match. Like, I get it.
I hated that whole storyline. When Buddy Love came out of the box, the only cool thing about that was when Buddy Love got fucked up by the Undertaker. The only cool thing about the entire storyline.
Shout out Bruce Pritchard.
Like, but yeah, everything else. And honestly, I will say the dive was cool because when he does the dive, Albert comes to, and then Undertaker pops up, and he instantly just looks to his left and punches Albert in the face. I thought that shit was the funniest shit ever. But other than that, yeah, I could give a rat's ass about that match. I'm never gonna watch it again.
All
Moving
White
on.
has
I love it.
has 2 shirts, a zip-up hoodie, a mug, and a beanie. I'm fitting your whole fucking closet
Let's
with Paul White shit
go.
for Christmas.
I'll wear a Paul White beanie to, I don't know, probably nowhere, but
No more BS, Buck. No more
more
BS.
No
BS.
more BS.
Well,
This is the
Next
shit
up.
show.
We have Bischoff and Val Venus are in the back, and they're conversing. And Vince enters and says if anyone interferes in the Stone Cold match, they will be fired on the spot. Following
Fired.
that,
Big Vince was coming back with the heat too.
next we get an update on the next match, which has now turned to a 2-on-3 handicap match between Benoit and Lesnar versus Team Angle, Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas. This match is 13 minutes and 19 seconds. We get the infamous Taz, here comes the pain call as soon as the music hits.
Yep.
And I miss hearing it.
Miss it.
Yep.
Love that shit. Brock looks like $1 million here.
Yep.
Charlie Haas has beautiful Germans throughout this whole match. Looks like he's just effortlessly tossing people to fuck around. Cole points out Benoit and Angle are 2 for 2 in their last 4 matches, making them tied. Lesnar does get one of the hottest tags of the night so far. Benoit and Angle do their amazing ankle lock to crossface reversals over and over again. You could watch that shit in every match, and I'm gonna be a huge fan of that segment of it. Haas saves Angle from Benoit, but catches a crossface and taps out while Angle receives an F5 at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love finishes like this because it's they're overcoming the odds. You got the Crippler, Chris Benoit, Canada.
Canadian.
Canadian in hell in Montreal, Quebec. You got Brock Lesnar that just looks like a fucking hockey goal. And he's just like this all the time, you know?
Fucking big
and
son of a bitch.
They just whoop these dudes' asses. What cooler way to make Canada feel good? Just dudes in American flag onesies getting their fucking ass whooped by their heroes.
Yeah.
I think that Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin are super underrated when it comes to a tag team. I really wish that Charlie Haas didn't walk away from professional wrestling. It does suck. However, it is what it is. Shelton Benjamin finally back with the Hurt Business. At least the last time I turned on WWE programming, Hurt Business was a thing again. I enjoyed the Hurt Business. I hope that continues. I think that Shelton Benjamin has a lot to offer any company he goes into, especially the locker room, younger talent. This was a really cool match, man. I gave this match 3.5 stars. I probably could have gone higher, but I enjoyed it a lot. How about y'all?
I went 3.5 as well. Just good shit. I mean, you put everybody in here, and like you said, Haas and Benjamin. The thing too is, think about how quickly they jumped in and adapted to working with fucking Benoit and Lesnar. They jump right in because they can fucking go. This match is just good shit. I mean, there's no fucking overarching dramatic story. It's just these motherfuckers wrestle, bro. 3.5.
There's no bells and whistles here. Yeah, no bells and whistles. It's just an ass beater for almost 13.5 minutes. And they leave it all out there. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it's on right now beside me to the left. It's fucking great. Pat, how'd you feel about it?
What'd you go?
Actually, rated it low, and then I rewatched it earlier, and I went 3.5. I think what it was initially for me was like, it's just too good of a match, dude. Like, it's like everything's pristine, everything's perfect, everything's good. You kind of just like
you get lost in that it's supposed to
like,
be that way.
Exactly.
You know,
like yeah, it's a great match though. Great wrestlers. I will say, I never for 1 second thought that Chris Benoit and Brock Lesnar were going to lose this match. No, not for 1 second. Like, but still, like that doesn't even take away from the match. It was great. Everybody was great. Like, it's awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. Casey.
So, couple small, like little tiny things. First of all, with Team Angle coming out and then having Kurt do his double finger points to the first pyro, and then Charlie doing it to the second, and then you got Shelton on the other side doing it to the third. It is like the most subtle, like nuanced shit, which I truly believe still puts them in at least my top 5 favorite factions. Like Team Angle's so goddamn, it's just everything about it.
Yeah.
Like they were smooth as shit. They like were just awful heels. Like it was like, but it was always like the Angle way of being a heel. I loved it. I had another one. I think it was the F5 and Crossface, like at the same time, was just beautiful. Like it almost was like a what could have been as like a really weird fucking tag team.
Yeah, for real.
Also, like I know we're still a little new with Lesnar at this point. He's been around for a minute, but like him coming out with 0 pyro is weird to me. Whether it's the pyro on the ramp or him jumping up onto the ring pyro, which was always so good. But like this is solid 3.25 match. I have nothing against it. It's just it was a good handicap match. Yeah.
Mark? I went 3.25 as well. The first thing that jumped out at me was, I don't know if Brock was like jawing with Kurt Angle, but the camera clear as day picks up Kurt, look dead at Brock and say, "It's 3-on-2, you fucking son of a bitch." It was my favorite part of Kurt Angle talking. It was so sick. Dude, I forget. It's so easy to forget how good Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin were. Like,
man, seriously.
Dude.
Greatest.
Everything they did was so
dude,
pinpoint precision.
To like a team, like an actual unit where you work with the person. The person beside you knows exactly what you're about to do, where you're going to be, and how you're going to do it. It's really hard to find another tag team like that. And currently, in my opinion, the only other tag team that comes close to that is FTR.
Yeah. I knew it.
What were you going to say?
Huh?
You were about to say something?
Oh, no, I was just going to say at this time, too, they booked a lot of singles matches with them. Like, after this pay-per-view, they were doing, like, fucking Eddie and Shelton and Eddie and Charlie Haas and Chavo and Charlie Haas. And it's like, dude, they're just so good little singles matches because they're just fucking working the mat, dude. Yep. And it's crisp. It's good. It feels like a fucking wrestling contest, you know? Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, we're going to dance around out here for a little bit. It's like, these motherfuckers grappling. They're just fucking good.
Yeah. Portland, I'm just going to echo what you said, man. Lesnar looked fucking awesome in this.
Always, baby.
He hits a stereo gorilla press slam on Team Angle, like on Haas and Benjamin. It's like one after the other. They were perfect. I loved the finish to this because Benoit was made to look small in this to make Lesnar look way bigger, right? But then you have Benoit with the crossface on, and people are trying to break out of that. Like, they're trying to, like, break the mission, and he's getting stomped on, and he just fucking tightens up more. Good shit.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely loved it. I went 3 1/4 on it. I also loved Lesnar posing with the belt. And again, you pick up Angle saying, "Ref, get my belt!" Good shit from Kurt Angle.
I forgot about that.
And now, unfortunately,
crying is great.
We go from an awesome match to this fucking dog shit thing happening.
The crowd gets 5 stars.
Yo, one day we gotta compile a list of worst matches of all time.
Both of these shoot on
it. Consist of old Ham Cubes himself. That's right, Triple H. The reason we're all here. Triple H versus Ham Cubes. Scott Steiner, old Shoney's ass, Ryan's ass, Golden Corral motherfucker.
Whoa,
you Jesus. Are so awful that it hurts to watch. It reminds me, like, if someone walked up to me and said, "Hey man, show me a pro wrestling match," I fucking promise Scott Steiner will never come up on 500 matches of how to entertain a casual pro wrestling fan. He just isn't in the list. So, had to get that off my chest.
I feel like he is so bad that he is entertaining. So I'll counter that. This fucking sucks.
I don't know, man.
You could say what all, like, I'm sure you have great notes for it. This match fucking sucks.
Here's this. No notes needed. No notes needed, because here's the issue. Nothing about this was compelling. Nothing about this made you want to be invested. And here's the deal. This was plotting. This was boring. But there's nothing here. All right, you got Triple H, right? Triple H, you put him in there as a fucking heel with somebody who draws some sympathy or somebody who's fiery and you want to see whoop some ass. Scott Steiner is a bulk of fucking flesh standing there to me. Nothing more. And then he can cut some funny shit backstage because he runs his damn mouth and sounds like an idiot. But that ain't shit. This match sucked. I could care less what Scott Steiner does ever in life.
The crowd
100%
aggressively hated Scott Steiner. Like they hated him. They cheered the shit out of Triple H.
Why did they book this way? Like, to me, it's like, okay, if you're booking this when Scott Steiner comes into WWE, right? Is it supposed to be a dream match? Or, like, what's the point of doing this? Who benefits?
Portland, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt so you can tell us about this match.
I don't know.
And you could tell the listeners about it, but
no.
Man, this was a shitter.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna drop a little bit of what I have. So touching back earlier on the King and Coach thing, I'm not a Jerry the King Lawler fan. I think that most of his commentary, his color commentary, is nothing that I care for. It's all puppies bullshit. And, like, I'm here for pro wrestling. I get there's a good majority of the audience that rather see that shit. And, like, that's fucking cool and all. But, like, I'm here to see pro wrestling. If you want to see that shit, you can go on any other website. Go be a fucking weirdo somewhere else. However, King has subtle...
Don't count out our hub sponsors.
Yeah. King has subtle spots in his commentary that I love. Like earlier, whenever Evolution arrived, speaking of this match, and you get the stone cold glimpse of the truck, and without anyone saying anything, you just get King's little like, oh! Like oh my god, and then it's gone. I love little things like that because he made those little segments, those little hints of what's to come more important.
Yeah.
However, beyond your sounds and catchphrases, I don't give a shit what you have to say or your opinion on Memphis wrestling because I just don't give a fuck. However, they have a nose-to-nose to start this match. And Jerry the King Lawler says, "Be careful, Steiner. Triple H will win any nose-to-nose contest."
Fucking good shit.
The thing about Jerry is you just need a little remote control with his little button phrases because that's the only thing he'll do this any good. He'll have a good funny line here or there. He'll do a little chuckle at the right time. But like you said, other than that, he's just dog
that's
shit.
what I'm telling you. He needed JR. Because JR can do a solo commentary by himself, but to have the weird nonsensical bullshit coming out of the right side of him, being Jerry the King, like being Jerry, like it helped that nuance. But without having JR there, like you're just letting this fucking like it almost is like let's just let Scott Steiner do commentary by himself. You have this rambling fucking lunatic just saying whatever the fuck comes to mind and Coach isn't gonna stop him. He doesn't get paid enough for that. Like,
we're talking so much about Jerry the King Lawler here, but let's not.
Yeah, I'm moving on.
Let's not forget about the true heel in this match, Earl Hebner. That scum.
I'm getting to that.
Fucker.
We are getting to that. So before we jump too far ahead, they used the Evanescence song for this promo, dude, and it felt like this fucking riff. This riff went about 20 years too long.
Fucking long, dude. Like,
dear God, dude, I don't even think Daredevil the movie dragged on as long as that fucking promo did. Like, Jesus Christ,
it was still
man.
Done really well. Like
it's done well, but like that song and that promo are just not. It was
yeah. The promo, the video package itself is done well. I enjoy the video package.
Don't let me
the song
here.
Over it is just it's a lot, man. But the crowd,
I thought it was great.
The crowd is 100% behind Triple H here, just like all of us. Even Scott Steiner does push-ups to dead silence. The crowd does not give a fuck about this, so much so that they start chanting at Earl Hebner, like Mike said, the heel of this match. They're chanting the famous phrase that only Canada can do right, and that's "You screwed Brett." And I don't know if Earl screwed Brett, but I love when they tell him that he does, because that motherfucker clams up and he forgets how to do his job so quick.
I believe Vince McMahon when he said Brett, God damn it.
Screwed Brett.
Brett screwed Brett, baby. I believe that shit, my friend.
This match also received, I'm just going to throw it in there since we're talking about the crowd. They got, this match got one of the worst things that could ever happen to two wrestlers, is a loud as shit boring chant. Like 2 times.
What? Yeah, it doubled down.
They were like, just in case you didn't hear it over us talking shit about Earl, it's boring.
Yeah, let's not forget, because fuck Earl Hebner firstly, but you guys fucking suck. Like,
there's strong Steiner sucks chants, obviously, as well as the boring. Triple H stacks Steiner using his feet on the ropes. Hebner pulls him off and says he's not afraid to disqualify him. After every member of Evolution has interfered, Triple H hits Steiner with the belt, but kicks out after 2, immediately takes Steiner immediately takes the pedigree for the 3 following a kick out of a headshot with a title belt, which I don't really get. However, this match is 13 minutes and 1 second, too fucking long.
Dude.
It felt like 45 minutes. It felt fucking ever.
Was
it's way too long.
the run-in done like sloppily on purpose? Because like Batista almost pulled a Titus O'Neil and like slipped under the ring.
Yeah, that was really bad.
They want to wear dress shoes and run down to a fucking wrestling
ring.
Yeah,
they look like fucking Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Cortland, what'd you go on?
Who do you think I went, Mike?
I'm gonna say that you went a singular.
A singular star. You are right.
I went a 1.5 stars. I don't want to explain myself too much, but I do feel like the beginning bits of this delivered enough wrestling for a quick minute for me to be like, okay, this is still leaps and bounds better than Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie. Like, it's still leaps and bounds better than. But my favorite part. My favorite part of this whole match is their stare down in the beginning, and you hear Scott Steiner say something, and he just keeps yelling at Triple H, and it's just like, I loved it, and it had me literally laughing. Good shit.
Oh, God.
I said the crowd straight up shit on this match. This fucking match went way too long. Thank God it's over. Gave it a 1.5 stars.
I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said.
What'd you give it?
What's your rating?
What'd you give it, Ethan?
1.5 stars.
I didn't even rate it.
You can give it a dud if you want.
My shit says, wow, this shit is ass. That's where I usually rate. Like, I usually have my notes and then, like, my rating. It says, wow, this shit is ass. And then I have a side note that at 1 hour of 48 minutes and 19 seconds into this pay-per-view, which is during this match, Scott Steiner takes Triple H, or Triple H takes Scott Steiner outside the ring and hits his head against the stairs. When he does that, you can literally hear one singular person go, "You screwed Brett, to Earl Hebner, you screwed Brett, and then he goes, "Hey, yo, Earl Hebner screwed Brett." And it's like the only cool thing.
There's also a fucking match. You hear one fan on the opposite side of hard cam, like they're right in front of him, and he goes, "Let's go, Steiner!" And everybody you hear everybody go, "Fuck off!" Like you can almost hear from the rest of the crowd.
Well, I'm very glad that we are continuing the reign of terror next week. We are going to do something fucking awesome that will not consist of Triple H versus Scott Steiner. So glad we're moving on from the Steiner.
What did Casey give it, though?
Oh, it's getting a star. This is
good. Okay, that's all.
Was it a wrestling match? Yes, technically. Was it a good one? No.
You know what's important about that, though? Scott Steiner can make that 1 star a 5 star with Steiner. That's all that fucking matters in the end.
68% of this math in this match. You get 1/4 of a man.
I can see how fucking pissed Ethan.
Because I think the highlight of the pay-per-view is coming up next.
He's fuming that we are on this.
So disappointed in us.
So we're moving on to bigger and
matches I've ever seen. I'm not going.
He's like,
this is one of the worst matches.
With less than half the time, 4 minutes and 26 seconds, we have something that is just absolutely fucking great. It's Eric Bischoff versus the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold's return is here, and this match is not much of a match. However, this man whoops that ass.
It's great.
For a bit.
It's amazing.
And before they come out, we get good old JR walking his old sassafras ass down to the table.
Sassafras.
And I just love the Oklahoma Sooners theme. Anytime it comes on, I was scrolling through TV, flipping channels. I hear that shit, and I just immediately pop for JR. Yeah. And
Ethan,
JR says,
Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Cortland. You're good.
JR says, I came here to see a man get his ass kicked like he kicked mine last week.
Yeah. Fucking
JR is red hot for this match. He is turned up to fucking 12. I loved it.
I have literally one note for this match. And it is, I'm going to need JR to take Stone Cold's whole dick out of his mouth right now.
Yeah.
The foreshadowing of you saying JR being red hot when he gets set ablaze and it's good shit there, Corey. Oh.
Yes, sir. So Bischoff's a tire here, Casey. You got anything to say about this 16-time black belt, purple belt, yellow belt, karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, sandboxing?
The only thing I want to comment on
shadowboxing
is Bischoff going on his way to Gorilla, gets stopped by Test, and is like, "You're gonna do great, bud!" Ha 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 ha! And then, like, it made no fucking sense.
None.
It was so fucking stupid. But yeah, the 8th degree black belt came out in
later on in the
attire.
match.
Oh, fucking Lord.
Yeah, he's wearing boxing gloves as well, which it's so fucking funny because his wrists are like this and his fucking boxing gloves. You know, when he lifts them up and you see his wrists like
you know what we didn't mention earlier about the Karate Master, Eric Bischoff?
What's up?
Earlier, the promo that they had about him, the promo starts and he has like his hands his fucking shit, and he goes
Yeah, in the promo they have our 8th degree black belt doing karate chops to boards and fucking watermelon on like a raw.
fucking god, dude.
So Bischoff gets the mic to say he will forfeit. And
you didn't even get it out.
It says there's still time. It says that I'll forfeit, yada yada, glass shatters, the huge pop. What everyone's been waiting for. Stone Cold Steve Austin has returned to professional wrestling after leaving due to a disagreement to the King of the Ring tournament where he was going to have a match televised but unpromoted against Brock Lesnar, where he would be doing the favors that night. And Stone Cold didn't agree. Stone Cold packed his bags and didn't return any phone calls and did not show up to Monday Night Raw. He'll go on record to say that's one of his biggest mistakes in his entire career is walking out. He's said it, and many others have said it. It's not the way you do business. You go out no matter what. You go out on your shield. You go out the right way, putting over whoever the next person is, whether if it's the next big thing or whatever it is. I mean, I'd be saying that right now if it was the same thing with Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin. You know, you go out on your shield, you put over the guy the best way that you can, no matter who it is. I don't care the stage that you're on.
That shit still hurts.
It does hurt. However, it's giving back. Yeah. And if that's what they've been doing for the longest amount of time, then they should just keep on doing that. But moving on from that, Bischoff is just getting lit up. Immediately Luthez press with Austin's rights, commentary selling Austin's firing from WCW. The pan back to the locker room where Austin's getting cheered on is just fucking stupid.
It's fucking dumb as shit, man.
I don't really get it. Austin rips Eric's gloves off, which I fucking loved. I was waiting on it. Austin's flicking refs off. It feels very like Invasion, Stone Cold, like heel turn Stone Cold, where he flicked off everyone. Everyone can go to hell. Don't trust anybody. Enjoyed it a lot. Throws beer on Eric. Austin.
He grabbed that beer from the crowd.
Yeah. He throws beer on Eric from the crowd. Austin checks his watch before landing a stunner, which I fucking love the do you know what time it is? I think that shit is fucking hilarious. He hits him with this stunner. Of course, Eric is not the best pro wrestler. It's really hard for a lot of people to take a Stone Cold Stunner a really good way, but he somehow pulls it off.
Jason.
Who took a better stunner, Vince or Bischoff?
Bischoff.
For sure.
Although Bischoff took like 17 in this match.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he took so many. Hopefully you're good at them.
Yeah, like one in there.
Yeah. So he pulls Eric's shoulder up off of the mat before getting to the 3 count after the first stunner. And he does it again. Finally, the third stunner. This one's the charm. The double bird. Great stunner. Eric sells the shit out of it. Eric is a huge trooper, in my opinion, for doing this. Like I said, Eric Bischoff's not a pro wrestler, you know? Him to get his ass kicked by the fans' favorite, it's been coming for a long time. Everyone wants to beat up Eric Bischoff. Who better yet than the beer spilling guy that everyone can relate to? It's really funny when you look down at it. JR fucking losing his mind here. Right before the last salute, Austin delivers the 4th stunner, but it's not over. No, sir. Goes halfway up the ramp, looks back, says fuck it, goes back and gives Eric Bischoff stunner number 5. And then he salutes to the crowd, few beers, a cool send-off. This match is only 4 minutes and 26 seconds. However, it's entertaining. I gave it more than I gave the Triple H and Steiner match, that's for sure. I gave this match 2 stars flat, just for the entertainment purposes of it alone. I was very entertained by it. Obviously, this isn't your pro wrestling match of the night. However, this is a great pick-me-up. Thank fucking God we got a good one.
Yeah.
After the Steiner and Triple H match. I enjoyed it. What say you?
Oh, I loved it.
Conrad.
I fucked up when I said it. I hate myself for saying it.
Yeah. Give it to Ethan. I want to hear Ethan's opinions.
I didn't rate it. It's badass. Stone Cold beating the shit out of that dumb fuck. That's it, man. That's just it.
I like when Austin was pinning Eric Bischoff and he started grabbing his arm and like pulling it up for the 2 count. I think it was the second one, but the ref counts to 2. And Austin, does the arm thing, and then he looks at the ref and he goes, "What do you mean? That's 3." And that shit just had me so weak because it was just.
That's all. That was fucking awesome. Mike, what'd you give this match?
What did Pat go on it?
I threw flat. Just for the fact that it was entertaining shit, but I mean, it wasn't like, you know what I mean. It was. It was a spectacle.
I went 2 1/4. The only notes that I have: how ridiculous is it that this match is leaps and bounds better than the Steiner Triple H match? Jim Ross was the MVP here. Quote his ass for days.
Eric Bischoff is more compelling than either one of the ones in that other match.
We're not about to shit talk Triple H. That's why we're here, motherfucker.
Look,
not me.
I also want to add. I like at the end when JR is like losing his mind. He's like losing his fucking mind, dude. You hear King go, all right, JR. And then JR goes louder, and then he grabs Coach and he's like pushing him and stuff because he's just like excited. And like it's that moment's so cool to me because it's like JR coming back and saying, "Yo, this is how you do this fucking job. This is how you get this shit done. Fuck what y'all motherfuckers are doing. I'm about to show you how it's really fucking done." And it's a really cool moment. I like it. I was talking shit earlier, but it was just jokes. It was really cool.
I feel like if it went Trip Steiner straight into Rock Hogan without this match, we would have had a fucking riot on our hands.
Yeah.
They would have been asleep for the first half of the Rock match, but they would have eventually rioted because like they needed something to wake them up, and getting the easy pops from Stone Cold is the way to do it. But yeah, like 2 stars is probably exactly what it deserves because it I think if anything, it just helped a very like restless crowd in Canada, and like got them kind of back onto like the WWE side for a minute, since they just fucking berated fucking Steiner and Earl Hebner for 14 minutes.
They did a great job deciding where to place this on the card.
Perfect spot.
Yep. Well, hell yeah, boys. Well, moving on from here, we get the main event, and this is Rock and Hogan 2 rematch from their WrestleMania. I fucking love The Rock's entrance.
I love The Rock, period. But yeah.
Hollywood Rock is some of my favorite shit.
Yeah,
and
dude.
We're not going to cover this promo that I'm about to reference because it's a little earlier now. Backlash 2003. The Rock cuts one of the best, funniest fucking promos with Lillian Garcia before he faces Goldberg. And dude, this promo I could watch it every single day and I'll fucking laugh. Hollywood Rock is fucking gold, and we see it here. It's not a whole lot. However, Hogan's over in Montreal, which isn't that big of a surprise, but I hate Hulk Hogan being over anywhere. Rock's working the crowd amazingly.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. There's a rock bottom early, but Rock puts Hogan in a... Wait a minute.
Oh,
God.
I fucked up or something. I have Rock hits Hogan with the bandana and whips Hogan with his own weight belt. Did he hit him with his own bandana?
Absolutely.
No,
He
he
did.
did.
And then Hogan like turns it around on him, and
I was like, wait, did he?
and King says, I think it's King. He's like, speaking of that tattoo, Rock, you're about to get another one. Like, it's just like the lamest shit in the world.
Yeah, God, dude. Keep going.
Okay. Before receiving Rock is here. Fuck me, dude. You fucked me up.
This fucking match.
It's a really hard match to enjoy. The weight belt. Before receiving some liquid himself, Rock is low blows Hogan while ref pulled the chair from Hogan. That The Rock brought in, if I remember correctly. The 3-punch big boot, the leg drop, the 1-2, lights out, lights back on, and the ref is out. And this is quite interesting.
Screwed him again.
Because I didn't feel like they were going to go this way. I thought that this match was going to be clean for Hogan. He's a face. The Rock's doing movies. He's already halfway out the door, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I thought they were going to give it to Hogan. However, we do eventually get the Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, the eventual fucking stupid ass Mr. America, which I'm sure we're going to fucking cover, and I'm going to shit all over it. However, Vince walks down to an insane "you screwed Brett," and the refs will work. Who would have known that it's that motherfucker from La Resistance?
My boy, Sylvain Grenier.
There it is. There's the name.
I would pay to hear Ethan pronounce his name every single rest of my life. Pay for it. It's my favorite. Sylvain Grenade.
Silver Grenade of La Resistance.
Hell yeah.
The ref slides a chair to the Rock, and holy fucking headshot. Hogan bleeding, Rock bottom. Ref miraculously jumps for the 3. Vince holds Rock and ref's arms high. And Cole says that Vince has made another screw job in Canada. Vince takes off jacket to show Hogan shirt that has nothing written over the "what you gonna do," and Hogan sucks.
No. Not say Hogan suck on the back of that shirt. It says brothers suck. And I'm going to talk about Hulk Hogan in a few seconds. Keep going.
I am so excited for Pat.
Vince rips the shirt and throws it in the face of a beaten and bloody Hogan. The trademark hits the screen as Vince is flexing on stage. We see a bloody Hogan on the big Tron right behind him. It's a super sick close up to pan out. You get the trademark logo that goes up right there. If you're going to do this screw job, dude, what better way to do it with Vince being at the fucking stage right in front of that Titantron, and you get a bloody Hulk Hogan right above his head, and you get a fucking roided out Vince McMahon just fucking flexing every bit of him up.
It's good.
Looking
huge, man. Overall for this match, I don't believe I went high. I gave it 2.5. Just for the match itself, it's hard for me to enjoy a lot of Hulk Hogan matches unless I'm just watching him get beaten like to death.
Agreed.
It's rather funny though,
Beaten
and it's
to death.
It's funny though because I haven't mentioned any of these other ratings from this certain other person. Dave Meltzer gave this match a dud rating, which I just found really interesting that I wanted to bring up because it's a pro wrestling match.
That sounds like personal beef.
Yeah, that's a pro wrestling match for sure. I think that you're just being a bitch about it, really. Like, if you couldn't find entertainment inside this match, I understand how you can't. But, like, to give this match a
complete dud, that's kind of, like, harsh as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 12.5-minute match. Like, there was a lot they packed into the 12 minutes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, you have awesome heel work from The Rock. You have a hot as fuck Hulk Hogan right now, returning from going back to the old fucking yellow and orange, yellow and red. Yeah. Fucking take your vitamins, beat black people, all that good shit he did.
Oh my god.
You know, did you guys know that Hulk Hogan is an alleged racist? Did you know that?
It's not that he's alleged. I mean, he said what he said.
In my notes, I wrote Rock whipping Hogan with belt. Yes. Hogan whipping Rock? Yikes.
See, let me tell you something, man. Because I wanted to really tame myself because I had some notes written down and I erased a lot of them.
I'm going to stop you for half a second. Please do not make me edit a bunch of this out.
I got you. You're fine. I'm not going to say anything crazy.
No. Go crazy. That's from me.
I'm not going to say anything crazy. You know, obviously, fuck Hulk Hogan. He's a racist, all this shit, whatever. What's up, Mike?
I know.
Well,
that was crazy.
Uh-oh.
Somebody looked like somebody hacked his damn computer or some shit. He's like, he looked like Kane when he lost his mask.
Good.
All right. I don't even remember where we were.
Pat was about to go off on Hogan.
Oh yeah, Pat.
Look, I'm not gonna go off on Hogan. We all know how I feel about Hogan. We all know how everybody feels about Hulk Hogan. It's kind of a general consensus that he's a racist and a piece of shit. That's really no more else to be fucking said about that. The Rock and Hulk Hogan matches, both of them to me were kind of what the fuck ever. Like, I don't really give a shit. I do like The Rock in this match, though. I'm not gonna lie. And because of The Rock in this match, I rated it 2 3/4 because I fucking love The Rock in this match. Like, and like he just was. It's just Rock is the shit, dude. Face, heel, he just knows what to fucking do, bro. He knows how to entertain you. He knows how to keep going.
The Rock was this match to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much from Hogan. I mean, Hogan just kind of is there. I mean,
Hey.
Sorry, there was a drunk old man slamming his hand on my door. So.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Welcome to South Carolina, baby.
Hey.
You need me to come down?
No, we're good.
All right. Mike, I hope you know I made fun of you a little bit.
Good.
That's fine. TLDR, the Hulk Hogan being a dog shit, Pat. Just quickly ramp it up for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. He just is, in fact.
Look, he's just look. I said I was gonna tame myself. I was gonna keep it chill. We all know how it is with Hulk Hogan, bro. He's a racist. He's a piece of shit. We already fucking know. There's no reason to keep it going. I personally, and if you want me to be honest, and I'm not just saying this because I know what happened now, I never in my life liked Hulk Hogan. I always thought he was a corny piece of shit. I never thought it was cool. I always thought it was fucking whack as shit. So to see him get fucking screwed by Vince McMahon and The Rock, dude, it was fucking great for me, dude. I like anytime he's losing, I'm with it. So,
hell yeah, boys.
Here's what I'll say about it. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
So I want to say, I know not everyone was in here when I showed it. So our background to this episode is The Rock giving a rock bottom to Hogan. Unfortunately, this photo does justice to that rock bottom because the rock bottoms that Hogan took were the fucking worst rock bottoms I've ever seen in my entire life.
Anytime Hogan had to leave his fucking feet ever was trash.
Holy shit.
Motherfucker wouldn't jump for anybody.
They were so bad. Like, the first one was worse than the second one somehow, but, like, they were the worst pieces of shit rock bottoms I've ever seen. It's gonna get 2 stars, but it's mainly because, yes, The Rock carried, not even mainly, The Rock carried this motherfucker from bell to bell, and we get, like, corporate Hollywood Rock, so it's even better. But, yeah, that's a dud from Meltzer's a little rough, but, like, overall, 2.
This was 2 stars from me, all for The Rock. Hogan was nothing.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, wrapping up that main event. Does anyone have their idea of the sleeper match on this card? What did you enjoy the most?
I went 2.5 on it, by the way.
Yeah, I was like,
Casual. It was good. It was good for what it was. Fuck. In 2021, fuck. I don't think you really knew that way. So I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't like anything I'm ever going to be like, wow, that was a match, brother. Like, fuck no, it was just decent, and it was what it was. The sleeper on this card, dude, I'm telling you, man, Hardy Jericho was the highest rated.
Yeah, that shit was great. What a great match.
Very cool match. Are you guys excited for WrestleMania 19 next week, boys? It has
Nathan motherfucking Jones, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jesus.
All right. Nathan Jones.
Mike, run me down a little bit of this card for next week, if you would.
Give me 2 seconds, and I will, my friend.
Yeah.
I can throw it out for you.
Here we go. You are looking at Kane and Rob Van Dam versus Chief Morley and Lance
on Heat.
Is that a Heat match?
Yeah, or on the last SmackDown, they said it was going to be on Heat because I just finished that today.
You get Mr. Matthew Hardy, version 1 with Shannon Moore versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
you get,
I remember that match fondly.
Match of the night, which is Undertaker with Nathan Jones versus Big Show and A-Train.
Lord.
It's too late for this shit, Mike.
You get Victoria versus Jazz versus Trish Stratus and a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. You have Chris Benoit and Rhino and versus Los Guerreros versus Team Angle, which is Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, and a triple threat tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. You have Jericho, Shawn Michaels. You have Triple H wrestling another WCW guy, but this time it is Booker T. You have Hulk Hogan, Mr. McMahon saga, Stone Cold versus The Rock, and your main event is Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar.
Yes, sir. This is a stacked card, front to back. You don't want to miss it. I believe this is it for this week's edition of the Up and Over podcast. I am Cortland Gwynn. This is Patrick White. alongside Mr. Casey El Gordo, Big Money Mike, and the ever so sweet, ever so southern Ethan Lewis. We love every one of you. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to us.
Stop me.
Please subscribe to us and follow us on Spotify, Apple Music. You will be seeing this on YouTube, hopefully tomorrow by sometime mid-afternoon.
Which would be Friday. Hopefully you're seeing this on the 5th.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We do not have advertisers. We're doing all this out of our own homes with shitty-ass lamps and our own work. Any support that you give us would be awesome. Please share our stuff, subscribe to us, so that way we can keep this thing going and keep the lights on for you and all of us, so I can keep giving you my bullshit opinions on what is a work and what's not a work. This is the Up and Over podcast. Thank you for listening. See you never.
Fuck Michael Cole.